إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له واشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Indeed, all praise is due to Allah, and as such we should praise Him, seek His help, and seek refuge in Allah from the evil which is within ourselves and the evil which results from our deeds. For whomsoever Allah has guided, none can misguide, and whomsoever Allah has allowed to go astray, none can guide. And I bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship but Allah, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the last messenger of Allah. The era of deceit. The 20th, 21st centuries which we have lived can be described as an era of deceit. However, the deceit is not something new, because from the time of Adam's creation, prior to his creation, the creation of Shaitan, Satan, a promise was made, a challenge was made. Satan had stated with regards to human beings, لَأُضِلَّنَّهُمْ وَلَأُمَنِّيَنَّهُمْ وَلَآمُرَنَّهُمْ فَلَيُبَتِّكُنَّ آذَانَ الْأَنْعَامِ وَلَآمُرَنَّهُمْ فَلَيُغَيِّرُنَّ خَلْقَ اللَّهِ. I will mislead them and arouse in them false desires. I will command them to slit the ears of cattle, and I will command them to change Allah's creation. This is the challenge of Satan. I will mislead them from the time of Adam to our time and until the last day, and I will arouse in them false desires. I will command them to slit the ears of cattle, and I will command them to change Allah's creation. So deceit, the main method or the main weapon of Satan is not limited to our times. It is really not something new, though it may appear more prevalent to us because of the fact that we're living that era. We're living an era in which satanic deceit appears to have reached a peak, or has reached levels that were unknown in previous times as far as we can determine. That deceit is deceit on a moral level, an economic level, is deceit which affects Muslims and non-Muslims. It is a deceit which, for Muslims here in this country, we all will have to address. We all will have to strive and struggle against in order to achieve any element of success here. Any element of success meaning that Allah's blessing will be on our presence here. If we are unable to come to grips with the deceit, the satanic deceit of our era, then our lives will be cursed lives. Problems will be added to problems, and there will appear no way out. If we look On the political frame, we have, as our brother spoke, about issues of terrorism and holy wars. Though the Pope recently and previously apologized to the Muslim world for their holy war, we remain branded as holy warriors, utilizing terrorism to promote our goals. Though, as they say, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. In many cases, those who were terrorists yesterday become freedom fighters today, and those who were freedom fighters yesterday can become terrorists today, because there are no ground rules. Whatever is politically expedient, then that will be what is promoted. And in this lies the deceit. Furthermore, the claims for democracy, secularism, issues of hijab, whether here or in France, in Germany, all of these represents elements of the political deceit. Our hudud which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed to bring life to society, they are described as savage, medieval, primitive, the worst of terms. And as a result of it, we find many Muslims today buckling under the onslaught of deceit, political deceit. So, standing for Islamic teachings and principles becomes fundamentalist, becomes extremist, and the moderates are those ready to change Islam or to abandon many of its practices, and they are the ones that are put forth as being the best examples for the rest of Muslims. They're handpicked and chosen, whether in the Muslim world or in the non-Muslim world, as examples for the rest of the Muslim Ummah. The moral deceit. The moral deceit can be found in the pornography prevalent on television, magazines, newspapers of our time. Pornography which is called artistic expression. Adultery and fornication called consenting adults. Homosexuality called alternative lifestyle. Sex education. This is supposed to prevent sexually transmitted diseases and unwanted pregnancies, but since its introduction, sexual transmitted diseases have increased, and unwanted pregnancies have also increased. Co-education presented as being superior. Preparation for the real world. Modern educationalists recognize that separate education is superior, but it is still promoted throughout the world as being superior, co-education. We find also amongst Muslims where they have suffered under moral deceit. where we have them defending, protecting those engaged in what is called honor killings, pharaonic circumcision of women, etc. Practices attributed to Muslims as a result of religious deceit. But the greatest, of course, deceit is the deceit with regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah said in Surah Luqman, verse 33, وَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ. Do not let the arch deceiver deceive you about Allah. This is the worst form of deceit, because political deceit can be forgiven. Moral deceit, sins, also forgiven. But deceit about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ultimate destruction, complete loss of the whole purpose of our existence. So this is, of course, the most dangerous area. For Western society, they have been deceived about Allah. That deceit began a long time ago. It began at the beginning of the era known as the Christian era, when Paul changed the teachings of Jesus alayhi salam, changed those teachings and made another religion which he called Christianity, and that spread. Those who upheld the true teachings of Jesus were hunted down, their books burnt, they were declared apostates. They were deceived about Allah. So till this day, the Christian world, over 1 billion people, are deceived about Allah. They believe that Allah became a man, and they worship that man, thinking, believing that they are worshiping Allah. Similarly, Hindus, representing another billion of humankind, they were deceived thousands of years before. Same trick, that Allah became a man, He became animals, He became a variety of different things. And that remains the basic teachings for 1 billion Hindus. And China, Russia, these countries were also deceived when they adopted atheism as the state religion. Atheism which teaches that there is no God. That is ultimate deceit. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in Surah Al-An'am, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوًّا شَيَاطِينَ الْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ يُوحِي بَعْضُهُمْ إِلَى بَعْضٍ زُخْرُفَ الْقَوْلِ غُرُورًا وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ مَا فَعَلُوهُ فَذَرْهُمْ وَمَا يَفْتَرُونَ. In that way I have made for every prophet enemies, devils from among humans and the jinn, deceptively inspiring each other with beautiful speech. If your Lord had not wished that, they would not, or they could not do it. So leave them and what they fabricate. And He also said in Surah Maryam, verse 83, ألم تر أنا أرسلنا الشياطين على الكافرين تؤزهم أزا. Do you not see that I set the devils on the disbelievers, prodding them constantly? So Allah tells us to leave them. Our energies should not be focused on them. Our energies should be focused on ourselves, on our own situations. The situations that we have within our means, within our own power, the ability to change. So here in the West, here in the UK, what is the challenge for Muslims here? What is it that they have to tackle? They have to change? And what satanic deception do they have to overcome in order to do it? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah An-Nisa said to the believers, إن الذين توفاهم الملائكة ظالمي أنفسهم قالوا فيما كنتم قالوا كنا مستضعفين في الأرض قالوا ألم تكن أرض الله واسعة فتهاجروا فيها فأولئك مأواهم جهنم وساءت مصيرا. Indeed, the angels will ask those who they caused to die while oppressing themselves. Indeed, the angels will ask those who they caused to die while oppressing themselves. And in Surah Talaq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says there, وَمَنْ يَتَعَدَّ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ فَقَدْ ظَلَمَ نَفْسَهُ. And whoever goes beyond, the angels take their souls while they're in a state of disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will be asked, in what state were you? And when they reply, we were weak and oppressed in the land, the angels will respond, wasn't Allah's earth spacious enough for you to emigrate? Wasn't Allah's earth spacious enough for you to emigrate? Such will find their abode in hell. What an evil destination. Such will find their abode in hell. What an evil destination. This is the challenge. This is the blueprint. This is why Umar ibn al-Khattab made the Muslim calendar from the time of the Hijrah, not from the birth of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ as had been done by the Romans, but from the time of the Hijrah. This was the turning point. This is the turning point. It is only through Hijrah that Muslims will be able to resolve the issues that they're faced here. And when I say Hijrah, I don't necessarily mean we all pack our bags and get on the next plane and fly out of here. Because of course, practically speaking, that isn't possible, even if we wanted to. But at least the Hijrah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the one which went to Abyssinia by his companions, that is not the major Hijrah where they left Arabia. The major Hijrah was the Hijrah within Arabia, the Hijrah to Medina. Within the country, they established a Muslim community. This is the challenge. This is the challenge for Muslims here, to establish that community. And this is where Shaitan is busy, saying, no, we don't want a Muslim ghetto. No, it will be too difficult. How could Muslims move in one area of the country? or another area of the country. You know, we bought our homes here, you know, to go and sell our homes, and we'll find 1,001 excuses why we can't do it. However, there's a verse in the Quran, in Surah Taghabun, verse 14, wherein Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, inna min azwajikum wa awladikum aduwan lakum fahdharuhum. O believers, truly among your wives and children are some that are enemies to yourselves, so beware of them. O believers, truly among your wives and children are some that are enemies to yourselves, so beware of them. Ibn Abbas, the commentator of the Quran, said that this verse was revealed concerning some Meccans, some Meccan converts, who were prevented from migrating to Medina to join the Prophet ﷺ in the early stages. When the Prophet ﷺ was given the command for Hijrah, and the call was on for Hijrah for the Ummah, a number of them were prevented by their wives and children from joining the Hijrah, the migration to Medina. As a result, when they later joined the Prophet ﷺ in Medina, and they saw all that the early migrants had learned about Islam, they were so upset they wanted to punish their wives and children. The wives were saying, no, you know, we have a life here, our families here in Mecca, you know, we can't go there for this reason or that reason. Or the children saying similar things, our friends are here, we don't know anybody in Medina. Those converts wanted to punish them, so Allah revealed the verse. It was a test for them. So we are supposed to learn from that. We're supposed to know that making that hijrah here in this country is possible. It's something that we need to do. We need to create Muslim communities, not nationalistic communities, ethnical communities based on being Somali or Bengali or Pakistani or Arab or something like this. No, we don't need Arab town, Bengali town, little Bangladesh, you know, little Cairo. We don't need that. What we need is Muslim town. That's what we need. We need Muslim town. And this is serious, because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said in an authentic narration found in Sunan at-Tirmidhi, أنا بريء من كل مسلم يقيم بين أظهر المشركين. I am innocent, I absolve myself of every Muslim who lives in the midst of the disbelievers. The companions asked, Ya Rasulullah, lima? O Messenger of Allah, why? He answered, La taraya narahuma. La taraya narahuma. You should not see each other's fires. Meaning those in front of you, behind you, next to you, your neighbors, they should be Muslims. That's the way Muslims are supposed to live. And he said that under what circumstance? Under the circumstance that he had sent a military detachment to a tribe known as Khaf'am. And when they came to them, they were engaged in battle with them. There were some Muslims living amongst them. So those Muslims prostrated to demonstrate to those from the Muslim military detachment that they were in fact Muslims. But the detachment was moving too rapidly, it was too late, and they killed them along with the disbelievers. So when this was told back to the Prophet Muhammad, he ordered that for those Muslims who were killed amongst the disbelievers, they should get only half of the compensation. Normally, if you accidentally kill a Muslim, there is full compensation. But because they were living among the disbelievers, their neighbors were disbelievers, then the Prophet ﷺ said only half compensation for them. And then he said, أَنَا بَرِيءٌ مِّن كُلِّ مُسْلِمٍ يُقِيمُ بَيْنَ أَظْهُرِ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. I am innocent of every Muslim who lives amongst the disbelievers. Isn't this enough for us? But the Prophet ﷺ absolves himself from us. He said in another narration, found in Sunan al-Tirmidhi also, لا تساكنوا المشركين ولا تجامعوهم فمن ساكنهم وجامعهم فهو مثلهم. Do not live among the idolaters. Do not fraternize with them, for one who does so is like them. For one who does so is like them. This is the instruction of the Prophet ﷺ. And this is what is in front of us. And this is the challenge that we face. As a result of living as we live today, we have fallen under the other warnings of the Prophet ﷺ of the times to come. As he said in Sahih al-Bukhari, لا يكونن من أمتي أقوام يستحلون الحر والحرير والخمر والمعازف. Certainly there will be among my followers those who make allowable fornication and adultery, the wearing of silk, the drinking of alcohol, and musical instruments. There will be among my followers those who make allowable fornication and adultery, the wearing of silk, the drinking of alcohol, and musical instruments. In another narration, Abu Malik al-Ash'ari had said, the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يشربن ناس من أمتي الخمر يسمونها بغير اسمها. Some people from my ummah will drink alcohol, naming it or giving it another name. يعزف على رؤوسهم المعازف والمغنيات. And musical instruments will be played over their heads, and singing women will entertain them. And this is the times that we're living, where riba is justified under other names, mortgages, etc., student loans, etc., a variety of other names. And we're fallen into it, cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my brothers and sisters, we have this challenge to meet. And the Prophet ﷺ gave us a final piece of advice with regards to deceit. Deceit in our individual lives. Take it down to the personal level. نعمتان مغبون فيهما كثير من الناس. There are two blessings about which most people are deceived. الصحة والفراغ. Health and spare time. There are two blessings about which most people are deceived. Health and spare time. Putting off what we have to do. Killing time. Doing foolishness. When Allah told us in Surah Ash-Sharh, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. If you have finished, if you find time to spare, فَانْصَبْ. Worship Allah. Worship Allah in doing what is pleasing to Him. Convey the message of Allah to the people in this land. We have an individual duty. Most of you are students in the universities. You're sitting in classes with many non-Muslims, and most of you are not saying anything to them. You study 3 years or more. You talk about everything under the sun, but you don't say anything to them about Islam. This is criminal. This is sinful. The opportunity will not come again. We have health. Allah has blessed us with health. We have to utilize it. We have strength that comes with that health. We can change things. So my brothers and sisters, come, let us change things. Let us change the situation here. Create an environment, a community of Muslims where Islam can be demonstrated on a community level. Where Islam can be demonstrated on a community level. Where we don't have to go running after political posts in parties whose principles go against Islamic teachings, meaning that no Muslim is allowed to join these parties because it means pledging oneself to what is displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala openly. Instead, we create our own areas, our own environments, where our representatives represent us. We know them. They're from among us. They're righteous. They're knowledgeable. They can represent us. It's not about being slick, smart, quick speaking, witty. No, it's about being righteous. As we want to build righteous communities, we want our representatives also to be righteous. So my brothers and sisters, let us meet this challenge. The challenge to overcome the deceit which Satan has put amongst us here, which brought us to these lands for the sake of the dunya, running after the dunya, leaving behind our religion in our homelands, raising generations here whose Islam has been neutralized. Muslims who have become, in fact, non-Muslims. This is the legacy that we have of generations of Muslims in this land. We want to make a change. We want to turn back the tide. We want a generation to come from us that will fear Allah. But that can only happen if they are raised in Muslim communities, going to Muslim schools, frequenting Muslim establishments, having friends, companions who are Muslims. Not to say that we don't deal with non-Muslims, because of course we're living in a non-Muslim country, so we have to deal with them. But we deal with them on the basis of da'wah, conveying the message of Islam to them. We live in the era of deceit. We need to know where that deceit began, from the time of Adam till our times. We still hear people saying, young people who are coming up, or people who sometimes we try to explain Islam to them, everything in Islam is haram. Everything that we want to do that is fun is haram. You Muslims live a very dull life. But reality is that from the time of Adam, the whole garden was there for Adam. All of the trees of the garden were there for him to eat from. Only one tree was forbidden. But Satan came to him and told him that one tree is the very tree you need to eat from, because it's got the benefit in it for you. And that's what has happened. Because really, Islam has not forbidden everything. The vast majority of things are halal. For every forbidden thing, there's 1,001 permissible things just like it. But Satan, through deception, makes the forbidden one the most appealing. So the media promotes it, and we feel, and our children feel, and our family feels, life is incomplete unless we get that haram. There's no fun. We cannot enjoy life unless we do that haram. That is the deceit. And that comes from living in this environment. Until we're able to change the environment. So what the media projects are Islamic values. Then we will be caught up in that same syndrome. So I call you, again, brothers and sisters, to put our hands together. Put our efforts together. We can do it. If non-Muslims can do it based on cultural identity, if Muslims, traditional Muslims, cultural Muslims can do it based on nationalism, then surely we who believe in Allah and are committed to practicing Islam for fear of Allah, we can do it also. I would like you to go home tonight thinking about that, knowing that if we fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He promised, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا, whoever fears Allah, Allah will make a way. You may say, how do we do it? How do we do it? You will know how to do it. It can be done. There are enough people among you who are knowledgeable, who can lay the plan, make the plan. Let us do it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum, brothers, sisters. We have some artwork, Islamic artwork, in that it was done by Muslims, Islamic type themes, inshallah nothing which is against Islamic teachings, and as a means for extracting from you some sadaqah, where you get something in return. We're asking you to help us to auction off these art pieces. The first is a series of geometric designs in watercolor and different colored backgrounds. The same design but done in 3 different ways, nicely framed, very attractive. You can hang it either this way, or you can hang it this way. Even at an angle it works, you know. Very nice. So, who is going to start with this? Well, we heard 50 over here. It's a good start. Alhamdulillah. Welcome. May Allah bless you for your energy. But who can do better than that? We need some more. Actually, we're trying to extract as much as we can out of you. That's the intention. So 50 pounds is just supposed to start the ball rolling. Come on. Who's 70? Somebody put up their hands. 70 pounds. 100 pounds. Alhamdulillah. The ball is rolling. Very nice. 100 pounds, alhamdulillah. But I'm sure there is amongst the sisters somebody who wants to give more than 100 pounds. Can we have a hand come up? Remember, this can be hung in many different ways. Not like the other ones, they have to be fixed in a particular way, but this one, multi-purpose. Huh? We have a sister. Okay, brothers, the ball is in your court. Can we do better than 100 pounds? I can see hunger in your eyes. The food is ready. The quicker we get over this, the quicker you'll be able to eat. So, who can do better than 100 pounds? Okay, I need 2 people. 2 people. You can share in it. You can keep it, one keeps it for 6 months and the other one gets it for the next 6 months. So I want one other person who's willing to... Another 50? 150. So we can get the 2 of you together. No, can we get the 2 of you guys together? Can you share this? That sounds good. Or who can do better than 150? Huh? 160. Alright, okay, it's crawling up. Come on, people. I'm hungry too. I just traveled thousands of miles to come here. And I'm very hungry. It was a long flight. British Airways was very skimpy in their meal. 170 pounds. That's creeping up there by tens. 180. Very nice. 190. We're almost there. Can I hear 200? Where do I hear 200? MashaAllah, 200 pounds. Very good. Remember, this is only symbolic. It's 200 pounds for the project, for the Dawah project, for the center, to benefit the community. That 200 pounds is going in to benefit the community. Will be multiplied many, many times. Is there anybody who wants to go beyond 200? Remember, this doesn't decrease. Prophet ﷺ said that sadaqah does not decrease mal. It doesn't decrease your wealth, it increases it. 200 and 250. That's the spirit. MashaAllah, 250. We're almost there. I have a figure written on the back here. I won't tell you till you reach it. 250. Almost there. At the last auction in Regent's Park, the sisters, they outbid the brothers. Whatever happened, we have a silent group this time around. Can anybody do better than 250? Going once. We have 7, right? 7 times. We make tawaf 7 times, sa'i 7 times. Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Somebody help me before we reach 7. Going 4 times. 260, mashallah. Mashallah, the ball is rolling again. 260 pounds. Mashallah. The brother or sister who did this piece of art gets great rewards. Shared by our brother with 260 pounds. Please, can we meet that 260? Can we get something above that? Okay, the figure, let me just tell you the figure. It's 300 pounds actually. It's 300 pounds. That's what I need for this one. Who's going to do it? 300 pounds. 300 pounds, thank you. Jazakumullah khair. Allahu Akbar. Jazakumullahu khaira. 300 pounds. Take our brother's name. Inshallah, this is yours.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Yes, whoever actually wins the bid, our brother Nasser is standing up there. He will go to the individual and take their names and details, inshallah, and we'll arrange for it, inshallah. And we'll start with the next piece, inshallah.
So if he wants to bring the bag out, sign and try to get some more stuff. You need to move on it quickly now.
Yes,
quickly, okay. So go get it. Get some souvenir. The books?
No, sir, we don't have much time for the...
Do you have one book here with the show?
No, I don't have any copies here. Okay. This is a magnificent piece of work, artwork. The Quran. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Is it? Upside down? I can see Qul Huwallahu Ahad here. Allahu Samad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So I think this works. Or maybe, I guess we start with Bismillah. That's a good start here. Really, actually, this is similar to the other one. We can have it this way. Or this way. And there's a lot of work has gone into this one, really, truly. So, who will start us off at 300 pounds? 200 pounds. Okay, it's a good start. I would have liked 3, but 2 is good. 2 is good. There is not enough. Huh? 300 pounds. Very good. Alhamdulillah. That's where we want to begin. 300 pounds. Now, who is going to give me 350? 350 over here. MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair. I need 400 over this side here. So you don't end up as people of the left hand. The people of the right hand over here did 350. 400 pounds. MashaAllah. 400 and 500 pounds. MashaAllah. This is it. We're getting warmed up now. That's good. 500 pounds. MashaAllah. This is where we needed to have begun the last one, but I just didn't want to scare you too much, right? So I'll let you start with whatever numbers you came to your head. 500 pounds. 500 pounds. Actually, we're running out of time now. 550. There's a number I have in mind. 550 is good. 600. Where is that 600? MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. You're supposed to say Yarhamukallah. 600. Okay. Because we don't have that much time, although I really had in my mind 700 for this one. You pay the balance. Okay, he said 600. Huh? You brought it to 700. We'll take it. MashaAllah. Jazakumullah khair. Okay, we have one more.
One more on the special piece. One more special piece.
This one, this is the right way. This one can only go one way. Very nicely done. There is no conqueror except Allah. La ghaliba illa Allah. Jamil Ahmed. Barakallah fi. This is from the Alhambra Palace in Granada, Spain. So, can we begin where others left off? We ended at 700 last time. So whoever said 600 for the other one, can you just stick your hand up again and say 600? That's good. That sounds really good. 600. This one has a glass covering. The other one was on canvas. Right? It has its own special appeal. But this one has a glass covering. Looks very nice in the light. So 600 was our starting point. Who's going to give me 7? We got 7 over this side. That's good. We've reached where we were the last time. 700. 800? We have 800. MashaAllah. Tabarakallah. Ahsanallah ilayk. 800. Do I have 9? I'm greedy for the sake of Allah. Do I have 9? Sisters? Not one bid from a single sister? This is shameful. This is shameful, sisters. Please don't allow the brothers to do this. Please. Can I hear 900 from somebody? Is there a 900 among the sisters? I'm sure there's a sister there who wants all of that reward. Don't be shy. Just put your hand up. You don't have to say anything. Put your hand up. Okay, brothers, then it's on you. 900. Do we have a 900? Come on, brothers, I'm hungry. Please, please, hurry. 900. I'll stop at 9. Okay. Okay, we have our sister for 9. MashaAllah. Jazakumullah khaira. Barakallah feekum. Jazakumullah khaira. Please go get her name. Don't let her disappear in the crowd now. MashaAllah. What does it say?
Just a quick announcement to brothers and sisters, inshallah. You don't have to actually pay all of this all at once. You can pay over time, inshallah. So if you bid, say, for example, £1,000, inshallah, then you can pay it over a year or something like that, inshallah. You break it down, so you don't have to pay all at once, inshallah. So you got the last and final auction coming up, inshallah.
Can't read it. Anyway. Okay. This is the final piece. The biggest. It's the biggest one. Means we need to start at 800. Where was that 800 down here? Where was our 800? Okay. That's our starting point for the biggest. I'm not quite sure exactly what it says. I can make out alayhi. Oh, it looked like Ali. Oh, do we have 900? From the sisters? MashaAllah. Finally, I guess they were just waiting to knock you guys out in the final pieces here. 1,000. Okay, MashaAllah. MashaAllah. 1,000. That's right, don't let it go. Sisters, are we going to let the brothers run away with it? This is the last piece now. 1,050. Now we need an individual bid here now. Come on, if you're going to take it, take it. 1,100. 1,100. 1,200. That's it, sisters. MashaAllah. Barakallah feekum. You have renewed my faith in Islamic womanhood. Standing forth firmly, ready to sacrifice for the sake of Allah. 1,200. Please get that sister's name. It's not done? 1,300. Okay, sister, he knows. He wants you to make 1,004, please. We'll stop here. We'll let you go at 1,400. 1,000? 1,400. MashaAllah. 1,005? MashaAllah. Are you doing it on the part of somebody else, or are you doing it yourself? You've got 1,005? You will take it for 1,005? No. Wait, no. Come on, if you're going to do it, do it. The sister is not sharing it with anybody. You're going to share it. Okay, brother, you're going to let them share it, or sister, or you're going to just take it yourself? Sister's sharing also. Oh, okay. Okay, we have 1,005 shared for the brothers. Do we have 1,006 shared for the sisters? We maxed out on this one? Okay, MashaAllah, 1,005 for the brothers. Anyway, Jazakumullah khair, sisters, you had to make them stand up and get that money for the center. We ask Allah to bless all of you who have taken part, and inshallah put it in your scale of good deeds. Barakallahu feekum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Brothers, please remain seated, and sisters also, if they could remain seated just for a few moments, inshallah. There are a few announcements. Firstly, just to mention that Al-Jum'ah have been handing out packs, and there is a free copy of Al-Jum'ah magazine. This is courtesy of Al-Jum'ah. There is a writing competition. The details are inside, inshallah.
For those people,
also there are some revolving slides. Sorry, Sheikh. Some announcements. I'm just making some announcements.
okay, just before the rest of the announcements, there are 5 copies, since we still had some people left over with money. There are 5 copies of my book called The Clash of Civilizations. Limited edition. Personally signed by me. 5 copies. So, for those people who had made the effort, but you didn't get the picture, can you take a book of mine? Those people had some nice numbers out there. I thought you had a nice number, right? What was your nice number that you didn't get anything for? Was it 500? No. Come on, you two brothers, come on.
Like last time we did.
One book.
Yeah, then that will come and pick it up.
Clash of Civilizations. Islamic point of view. Limited edition. It's probably going to worth thousands after I die. Huh? Who else? £10? No. We're talking about the people with the extra money. Huh? £100. Okay, that's okay. £100 for one. Please get our sister's name here, please. One. £100 for one. We still have 4 more left. Huh? £200 for another. Okay. £400 for the third. Please get our brother's name here. Oh, was that the fourth or the third? The fourth. That was the third. Okay, the fourth. Did we get our brother's name? His brother over here? Yes. Keep your hand up there, brother. Sisters, those who did it, please. Is there a sister recording the names? Or a couple of sisters here? Just put your hands up so the other sisters can get your name down, please. Okay, book number 4. Huh? What is that? £150? Last one was £400. Are we going back down? We're supposed to be moving up. Huh? Who said £150? £100? £150? Okay, good. That's number 4. 1 more left. 5th book. 150. 5th book. Jazakumullah khair. After, I don't know how you can work this out, but we can just give your names, write it down, and then I'll sign the book dedicated to you, inshallah. Okay? You get the names, 150 sisters up here. Barakallahu feekum.
Jazakallah khair to everyone. If everyone can remain seated just for a few moments, it will aid our brother when he's trying to get the individuals who kindly donated or kindly won the auction. Okay.